Life is precious, and we all have the opportunity of living it to the fullest. Unfortunately, so few of us know how to manage it all. How do we account for our opportunities? How do we account for our time? How do we account for our relationships, health, spirituality, homes, finances, influence, and careers? How do we account for the one life we have to live? I am so glad you asked. In this program, you will find answers to all of these questions and more. Welcome to the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore.
What's happening, everybody? I want to welcome you back to another episode of the Account for Your Life podcast. Jay Moore here, the healthy accountant, helping you to account for your life. Guys, look, happy Monday. Man, it's an awesome and incredible day. We are on the last few days of August of 2022. Guys, where you tracking? Where you tracking? Today you're going to learn something about tracking and how tracking could save your life and how tracking could get you the success that you desire. And that's what we're talking about today. Getting results comes down to three things, at least in my discovery. I'm sure that, look, there's plenty of people more successful that would have their one, their two, their three. But today, at least for me, getting results comes down to three things. So, guys, let's jump right into this. Oh, and this podcast is being sponsored by the healthy accountant himself, right? That's right. I'm sponsoring the podcast of Account for Your Life. So definitely go and check out taxfreewealthchallenge.com. On that website, what you will find is that the healthy accountant has put together a program so that people like you in business can avoid tax mistakes. Those like there's some programs and some things that we put together so that you can literally avoid the tax mistakes, be able to save more money by avoiding tax mistakes so that you can keep it and grow your business. So guys, let's jump right into what we're talking about today, and that's getting results. So back in 2020, what's that noise? It's weird. Back in 2019, when I was introduced to Dr. Myles Munroe, one of the most amazing kingdom persons who ever lived, at least in my generation. And when I was introduced to him, I just started learning so much about the kingdom. And in learning about the kingdom, I just learned it. Man, that's what I'd been searching for. That's what I've been hoping for, wishing for, praying for, and asking God to reveal in my life, but never found it. I never understood how to get out of the gray area is where I used to live. I used to live in the gray area where if I don't profess something and I don't not profess, then I can just kind of hang out in the center, hang out where I don't really have to say anything or don't really have to have any beliefs. I can just kind of act like I don't really believe anything. And man, that's where I hung out. And so when I figured out and learned about the kingdom, and I learned how simple the Bible is and how it's a blueprint for helping us to become the people we were created to be, I saw something that blew me away. I saw something that was literally a success. I'm talking about, it was just success. And I was like, whoa. And I've repeated this on this program many times. And so we're going to go into the word. You ready? Joshua 1:8. Keep this book of the law in your mouth. All right. So here's the thing. God was giving Joshua a success formula. He says, I'm going to give you a success formula. Now, here's the thing. Now, after he said this, he told Joshua, you're going to have courage. He says, man of God, you're going to have courage because a lot of times things are going to come against you. But when you operate in the success framework, which is keep the book of the law in your mouth. I'm going to ask you a question, right? What's in your mouth? Now, this isn't even the three things yet. I'm going to get to the three things, but the three things that I'm going to share here is help me to develop and help me to see what the three things that would help me to get results. He says, keep this book of the law in your mouth. He says, meditate on it day and night. So now he's like, okay, it's in your mouth. Now keep it literally in your spirit, because by it having it in your spirit, then something amazing can potentially happen for you. And then he says, do what it says, and you will make your way prosperous, and you'll be good success. And when I got that kingdom framework, I literally was just like, this has been in the Bible. This is actually something I should do. Wherein a lot of times we would read the Bible, we would learn. Man, I memorized hundreds of scriptures in my life that I probably can't necessarily repeat all of them, but I memorized a lot of scriptures that didn't tell me to do anything. They just was having us memorize stuff. Guys, learning doesn't happen until we actually do something. Write this down. Learning doesn't happen until you do something. You can look, guys, I read books all the time, but that doesn't mean I learned anything. What I did is I collected some head knowledge. Yesterday, when we talked in the podcast, I talked about how I realized that college itself was kind of irrelevant, right? Because for what I personally had a desire for, college necessarily wasn't going to lead me there. College was going to lead me to a brick wall. College was going to lead me to a place where I would actually find myself in lack, and that's where it left me. See, back in 2008, when the real estate market collapsed. Hey, was anybody around for that? Look, where were you when the real estate market, and where were you in the collapse of 2008? I lived through the collapse of 2008. I was also involved in the collapse in 2001, right? I was working for a company. I got downsized in that company because of what happened in the dot-com bubble burst. So when the dot-com bubble burst, my job that I had was like, hey, well, we no longer have any money. That's what the business did. And they downsized and downsized and downsized until the point where that company just went away. So fast forward to 2008. 2008 came. You would have thought that a brother would have saw something. I didn't have no idea what happened in 2001 because I was not aware. So when 2008 came, here I was. I didn't have this framework of success, right? The first framework that the kingdom gave us is in Joshua 1:8. Keep the book of the law in your mouth, meditate on it day and night, and do what it says, and you'll make your way prosperous and will be successful. Then 2008 comes, and I collapse with the collapse. I had made a bunch of money. But I was wasting it. So let's not get it twisted. I made a bunch of money and wasted it all, right? And I went away with everything. But when I found the kingdom framework has taught me how to see different. Guys, you want to write this down. So here's the first thing. That could help you to get results. And this is for me. You got to see it. You got to be able to. The first thing you have to be able to see it, because when you see it, then you can actually say, that's interesting. Like this whole month of August, my vision changed. My vision changed in August, where, see, for me, health is the foundation of my life. For me, if I want to get going, I need to do something with my body. I need to do something in the health arena. And so I said, you know what? I want to blast off. I want to get better. So what can I do in health that would help me to blast off in August and help me to finish out 2022 with like on the highest note that I could ever that I've ever finished? And I said, it's health. Let's get back to it. And I remember when I first jumped into the game, I said, I started running. I said, let's go back to running. We started running. I saw it. I could see that running could literally lead me to my successful and prosperous life. Running, that's an opposite. That's not me out doing extra marketing. That's not me out creating more ads. That's not me. No, it's just getting my foundation set. It's going back to the basics. I went back to the basics. I started running, and it was hurting. It was painful. It was not fun. And here it is with 29 days in. I got 3 miles to run. We're 29 days in. Now I'm a little short of my goal. My goal was 100 miles. I looked at my goal tracking sheet, and on the goal tracking sheet so far, I've run 82.9 miles this month. Now, here's the thing. Now I'm not going to run 17.1 miles. I'm not going to run that many miles to end this month. So I'll probably come a little short, but here's the thing. I've never run that many miles in a month. Never. Even at my highest, I did not run that many miles. I might have run 60 to 70. Here it is. I'm at the most miles that I've ever run in a month. All right, but we're gonna get there. I could see it. Then the next thing is you got to do something, right? See, here's the thing: getting results, guys. Like if I would have pontificated on picking myself up and getting myself on the hard top, right? Which I'm gonna tell you, it's hard. Luckily, I got some really soft shoes. I got to get some more. I've got these Brooks, and these Brooks are so soft that it makes running a little bit simpler. I've got some other shoes. I got some Sauconys that I have on now that I go to the gym in. I might run on the treadmill with them, but when I tried to run outside with them, I was like, no, these are not running shoes. So one of the things you got to do after you see it, you got to do something, because when you do something, then what happens is, you kind of get into it. But here's the thing: most of us start doing something and we don't see the results. We start having some issues. We start figuring like, oh my goodness, it's not working. I was talking to my wife last night. I was like, man, yesterday, I was like, man, here's the thing. I was like, wow, we can have success, but we can't care. We can't care about like what it is that we have to do to get to success. Write this down. Don't care. Meaning, as long as it's ethical and legal, don't care what you have to do to have the success that you desire. See, because if you care about, man, oh my goodness, I got to do that in order to be successful the way I wanted to, the way I'd like to be. See, that's why many of us don't reach the levels that we want, that we like to reach, because we're looking at the work and we won't do it. So you have to do the work. The work is what's going to make us successful. Now, seeing it is critical, because if you can't see it, then what will happen is doing it, you actually won't do it. And if you do something, you'll stop. But you have to see it. And then lastly, number 3, you got to get this one. You've got to track it. See, if I don't track my miles, I won't know. I wouldn't know. Now, it's easy today to track, right? You can have a Fitbit. You can have all sorts of, like my phone does the track, and my Fitbit broke. I need to go buy a new one. I think they got these little rings now that you can wear. So there's a lot of ways to track your movements. And so you just have to have a mechanism to track. And that's for everything. It's not just going to be in your health. You have to track, hey, if I'm going to the gym and I want to see results, I've got to track the movements. And so I said, I have to create a program. I have to create a program for myself where I track everything that matters. See, one of the things that the Account for Life is all about is helping a person master the things that matter in life. And here's the thing: when you track the things that matter, you'll actually see the results. Seriously, when you track them. But what if, okay, I'm not going to say what if. Think about the results you desire. That's right. We're about to close here. And I'm going to do a recap in just a second. Think about the results you desire. What are the results you desire? So first we have to know what the results are, because once we know the results, man, I would like my body, I'm not looking to be a bodybuilder. Nope. I'm not trying to get that big. But when I take off, when I wear my clothes, not even when I take off my shirt, when I wear my clothes, I would like my clothes to fit a certain way that the muscle that has been built is showing. I'm not looking to get as big as The Rock. The Rock is big, and he's spent many years doing that. I don't want to gain that much. I don't want to gain that much muscle, right? But 20 more pounds of muscle on my frame, all throughout my body. Ooh, man, that's amazing. So what about your money, right? How much money would you like? How much money would you like to make? Like all the stuff that you got to track. Like, how would you like your wife, how would you like to show up with your wife and show up with your family? And how would you like your spiritual life to be? Like, all these things are these are things we have to track, because if we're looking for a result, then that means we're going to have to have a way to look at it. Now, I didn't always do this because a lot of times we have goals and we're not necessarily looking. I wrote some goals down at the beginning of the month, and those goals are helping me to realize what I have to focus on. So here's the thing. Here's what I've discovered. And here are the 3 things. I'm going to recap this now. The 3 things that helps helps me to see how to get results now for me is based on the biblical word of Joshua 1:8. Keep the book of the law in your mouth, meditate on it day and night, and do what it says. And when you do those things, you'll be prosperous and successful. And then if you see it, the results come when you see it. Then after you see it, you know what to do. So you're doing it. And then because you're doing it, you're now tracking it. And when you do those three things, the results you desire, you will actually get them. Now, that doesn't mean you'll get to the highest level when you first start. Just like I'm probably going to miss 100 miles this month, but I'll reach a level I've never, ever reached before. Go with me on this journey of account for your life. The reason why I don't use the ing is because this is not accounting. This is account. And account is at a much higher level than accounting. And one day I'll train you guys on that. Account is at a much higher level because if you would like the account that has all the dollars and cents and all the stuff, then you're going to have to understand that first before we do all the ings, the countings. But account is everything. So guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Account for Life podcast. This is Jay Moore, your healthy accountant, helping you to account for life. God bless, and I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
Thanks for joining us, listening friends. We are so glad you invested this time with us. Always remember, you only have one life to live, so live it to the fullest. This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.